many times have we heard rumors that the Metroid Prime trilogy would actually be coming to the Switch? I personally can count at least 5 different times, I think 6 actually, since the Switch had come out, where we heard rumors that the Metroid Prime trilogy was on its way. This is now yet another, but there's a reason to think it's more legitimate than the rest, and the Metroid Prime trilogy coming to the Switch is actually going to be coming a lot sooner than a lot of people might have thought. So a website called Tech Plus Game, and yes, I've never heard of it either. This is a rumor, take it with a grain of salt, and of course it comes from a website I've never heard of. But they shared a very interesting fact, and that is the image, the picture of what looks to be a special edition of the Metroid Prime trilogy coming to the Nintendo Switch. Could it be fake and fabricated? Of course it could. And being a smaller website or a website I've never heard of, I wouldn't put anything past anyone to get attention. But this looks to be legitimate. And I did some quick research on the website looking to see if this was the only story they ever had or how many stories. It looks like they post legitimate articles and rumors and stuff that has a lot to be believed behind it, so that it's not just making up stories for clicks. So with that being said, of course, I will put the link in the description below, but Metroid Prime Trilogy, one of the best trilogies in video game history. And I don't think that's that big of a stretch to say. Like, especially the groundbreaking first Metroid Prime, everybody should experience it. And with Metroid Prime 4 coming to the Nintendo Switch, it only makes sense to give people who have the Nintendo Switch the ability to play these games on updated controllers on the Nintendo Switch itself. So with the Joy-Cons and everything like that, I don't know if they'd be implementing motion controls like they did with the Wii on the trilogy for that. But for this on the Nintendo Switch, it just makes sense to have it come out. And obviously, it should be coming out before Metroid Prime 4 so that gamers who didn't experience the trilogy first can do that before getting around to the fourth one. As far as the pricing or anything like that, they didn't go into any details. They shared the link that unfortunately has already been taken down by Best Buy. So I tried to click on it and it just brings you to an unavailable sorry page. But the link looks to be legitimate. It has the Metroid Prime name and information in it. The picture that they shared looks to be legitimate as well. And based off the history of Nintendo Directs, they typically do have a smaller Direct, and then later on, a few weeks, sometimes a month later, have a much larger Nintendo Direct. I would imagine if this is going to be the case, that a Nintendo Direct might be dropping very soon, like in the next week or two. And this game would be highlighted among everything else. So, again, it's a rumor, take it with a grain of salt, but at the same time, all sources point to this being real. And if that's the case, it's unfortunate that we hear about it through a rumor. I always like to be hearing directly from the source, being surprised and shocked by Nintendo. But at this point, we've waited so freaking long for this game to come to the Nintendo Switch. It's way past the point of giving Nintendo the benefit of the doubt. If there's any glimpse of this beforehand, I am taking it and running with it. And I figured I should share this with you guys as soon as I found out about it, because I'm excited. I want to play through these games again. And full disclosure, I don't think I played through Metroid Prime 3 all the way. I know I loved it, but I feel like life distracted me with it. The first Metroid Prime was completely groundbreaking, revolutionized the first-person shooter for Metroidvanias that hasn't really been touched since the original Metroid Prime. I'm sure people in the comments will be like, oh, this game X, Y, and Z did it better. But for me, the pioneer, and still the environmental sounds and the graphics, everything about that game just completely drew you into it. Metroid Prime 2 was quite the departure from the original, when you needed to travel to all the glowing areas and stuff like that, wasn't necessarily my cup of tea when it came to Metroid Prime games, but still fun for what it was, and Nintendo did a good enough job varying the formula to make it worth the playthrough. And to be honest, I personally am looking forward to this so that I can finally get back to playing Metroid Prime 3 on the go. Yes, I already have the trilogy on the Wii, and yes, I already have it on the GameCube, the original games. But, I mean, let's be honest, I want to play it on the go. I want to be able to play this game in bed before I go to sleep and without distracting my wife. I think it would be a perfect fit on the go on the Nintendo Switch. And I'm truly hopeful that this rumor is actually coming true. But then again, this is what, the 6th or 7th time we've heard about it, so take it with a grain of salt. Figured I'd let you guys know. I'm excited about it. I think there is a ton of potential to this being true, and we will just have to wait and see. I'd be very interested to hear a couple of things. One, do you think this needs to come to the Switch? Are you excited about that potential? And if so, would you buy it day one? And I guess a third question would be, is it worth the full $60? To me, I think it's worth more than that. You're getting 3 incredible game experiences that transcend time. And I personally would pay more than $60, but that's me maybe just being a Nintendo fanboy. I know a lot of people would disagree with me on that. But anyways, I'm going to leave the video at that. Thank you so much for watching. And as always, you stay smashing.